Alrighty, everybody, welcome back to another live stream here on the channel. Hopefully everyone is having a great Wednesday so far. Let's see what we have on in the chat today. We have Grumpy Grandpa, Tornadic, Ben, Capybara, Brian, Johnny, Caleb, Proxy, Pete, Ari, and everyone else who's watching who may not be chatting, or if I forgot to welcome you, or maybe you're just watching and may not be chatting. Glad to have you in here. Mark as well. Edits, glad to see you. And yeah, let's go ahead and jump on into today's live stream. Let's switch over to, let's see. We'll go with this one. We'll go with this one. So yeah, we're going to be talking about the potential for severe weather today. We're going to be covering it a little bit. It does seem like today's overall tornado threat is quite diminished. I don't think we're going to see much today. I saw some chat early in the stream about some significant tornado potential, but it looks like storm mode and just the placement of our boundary will most likely inhibit any storms from producing much of a significant tornado threat, or really as much of any tornado threat at all. I really don't see much tornado threat out here. I do think we could still see a spin-up tornado or two. We did get a report earlier of an unwarned tornado. I think it was southeast of Mantor, like somewhere out here in southwestern Kansas. I watched the video of it, and it was weird. It was a very weird thing. I don't know if you could call it a tornado. So it didn't look like it had much of a mesocyclone. It didn't have a condensated, like, upper portion of a tornado. So it was like a half tornado, kind of like Scud, that was hitting the ground, but it still had a look of a tornado. So it still was rotating. It looked like a violently rotating column of air. So it looked like a tornado. But it was like a half consolidated tornado, and it lasted for not much longer than 10 seconds in an open field. So very, very weird. Just really, really weird on what tornado touched down here southeast of Mantor. But it looked like a tornado to me. Chaser, very well-known Chaser, reported it as a tornado. I believe it was. But they never put any tornado warning or anything on it. I mean, it touched down 10 seconds. It was gone in 10 seconds. So it really didn't do much. The main story of the day has been destructive hail out here in central Texas, northwest of Austin. We did have a tornado warning earlier back out here in southeastern Georgia. Very broad area of rotation, not much there. We've had some isolated severe storms out here in Mississippi. This is actually a bit of a awkward one for those in Mississippi. These are storms moving from south to north. Not really something you guys get that often, non-associated with hurricanes and tropical systems. So very, very odd. I'm not used to seeing storms, a very strong line of storms, move from south to north like that in Mississippi. Almost like 95% of the time we're tracking severe weather non-associated with tropical activity out here. It's moving from west to east. So very odd. Looks funny. Looks very funny to me. Storms out here in southwest Texas, not really doing so well. They've stayed sub-severe thus far. Don't expect much. And then another story of the day will be with these clusters, which they honestly don't look that good. What happened was we saw a lot of early convection fire up in southeast Colorado. And these storms moved into dead east movers, complete right moving supercells, and they all clustered up very, very quickly. And they fired west of the boundary. So they fired extremely elevated, like we're talking 55 dew points, 80, 85 temps. So like a 30, 35 degree temperature dew point spread in southeast Colorado. And now they've moved into a bit of a better environment. However, they're starting to die out because they're so clustered up together and they're all competing for the same environment. So not really a good setup for tornadoes today, in my opinion. I do still think we could see a spin up tornado or two at some point tonight in southwest Kansas. So if you are in this area, make sure you're hyper weather aware, especially in this region. That's where it looks the most likely. There is also the chance one of these produces a tornado sometime tonight, but I'm not very convinced with today's tornado threat. It doesn't look like a really notable tornado threat in my opinion. I haven't checked the mesoanalysis of the last hour, the 5 p.m. mesoanalysis. We're about to get a new one. But I do want to just see exactly what we are dealing with. Yeah, so the main favorable environment is in southwest Kansas. So this storm here, if it starts to become a bit more of a southeast mover as opposed to an east mover, it might try to be tornadic. So we'll need to keep an eye on both of these. See little velocity signatures there near St. Francis, but not much actual rotation. The environment out here, though, is actually very, very impressive. Actually, the type of environment you would see with a very volatile event. So, I mean, if we just had a bit better storm mode, today very easily could produce intense tornadoes. I mean, hold on. I'll check one more thing real quick. I want to see one thing before I say this. Yeah, the environment we have today is actually capable of producing a violent tornado, but we have a horrible storm mode. So, I mean, the environment is near perfect. It's just how the storms fired, where they fired, and how they've moved into southwest Arkansas. Everything about those storms and how they fired, we're probably not going to get much of a tornado threat out of them, just a spin-up tornado or two. But the environment is extremely, extremely favorable. Very, very favorable environment. So let's go over our risk area. Let's go to weather-wise here. Let's go to our outlooks. Go to day 1. So we have 4 different slight risks for severe weather today. We have a slight risk from Wichita, Kansas, all the way down to northwest of Norman, Oklahoma, back into Amarillo, Texas, northeast New Mexico, all the way back up into northeastern Colorado. Main threat there is damaging winds of 60 to 70 miles per hour, very large hail as large as 3-inch in diameter, and the threat for a spin-up tornado or two, especially along this sharp corridor in here, going into the evening and eventually into the early night hours. Really shouldn't see much severe weather persist past 10 o'clock Eastern. So the next 3 to 4 hours will have the greatest risk for a spin-up tornado. Texas, right out here, central Texas. So that includes areas like Abilene, Sweetwater, back down towards Killeen, Austin, north of San Antonio. Big time hail threat, potentially isolated hailstones as large as softball. That's up to 4-inch in diameter, 70-mile-an-hour winds, and a spin-up tornado or two can't be ruled out in this region as well. Back out in southwest Texas, southeast New Mexico, another slight risk, the third slight risk for severe weather that is in effect. That's for Fort Davis in southwest Texas. Main threat there, 60-mile-an-hour winds, 2-inch hail, spin-up tornado or two also going to be possible in that area as well. Southeastern Louisiana, south central Mississippi, main risk, damaging winds by a milestone, 70-mile-per-hour winds will most likely be the biggest hazard. Could have some large hail, upwards of 2 inch in diameter. Tornado threat should be very low, but can't rule out a very brief, very weak spin-up tornado out in somewhere in this slight risk area, although that is the least likely area for a tornado today, but still can't fully be ruled out. Tomorrow, a little bit of a different story. Only one main slight risk for severe weather. However, there is two different areas of a tornado risk. We've got a tornado risk in Midland, Abilene, what the heck? Midland, Abilene, San Angelo in west central Texas. Then another one back out in Arkansas, Tennessee, Mississippi, and Kentucky. Main threat for tomorrow is definitely the chance for a spin-up tornado or two in either of those risks. Both risks under the gun for damaging winds of 60 to 70 miles per hour. Likely closer to 70 miles per hour back out here closer into like the Midland and Abilene area for tomorrow. But the main story will probably end up being hail. Hail will most likely be the big issue tomorrow. Texas could see up to 3-inch hail again tomorrow. I mean, you guys have I think it's, you know what? I want to look. I'm going to go look. How many days in a row has Texas had a risk for severe weather? So today you guys have a slight risk, obviously. Yesterday you guys had an enhanced risk. The day prior you guys had a slight risk. Day prior of that you had an enhanced risk. Day prior, enhanced. Wow. So quite a few slight risks for severe weather. It looks like, what, 2, 3 enhanced risks? I completely do not recall this moderate risk on the 19th. Oh yeah, that was the huge one in Oklahoma, Missouri. Now I remember that. Wow, that was already 9 days ago. Yeah, so plenty of slight risks and enhanced risks. That is crazy. Like 10 in a row. 10 in a row you guys have been under the gun for very large hail. Really haven't had a break ever since, what, like maybe the 16th? What were you guys under there? Yep, under a marginal risk and a general thunderstorm risk. So the 16th, actually this is the 15th, my bad. The 15th was the last time Texas was relatively in the clear for severe weather. So that's, what is that? That's like 11 days? 12 days? Yeah, 12 days or so. 12, 13 days since you guys have last had a break of severe weather somewhere in the state of Texas. So that's crazy. Marginal risk also goes up into the Carolinas. There is definitely the chance for some isolated 60-mile-an-hour winds out here in eastern North Carolina, into southeast North Carolina as well. Wouldn't rule out a spin-up tornado tomorrow in North Carolina or South Carolina. Most likely pending storm mode. It looks like it will be a very messy event, so I highly doubt we will see much of a notable severe threat tomorrow, but I wouldn't rule out a spin-up tornado and or a wind gust up to about 60 miles per hour tomorrow, somewhere in North Carolina and or South Carolina. Day 3, completely different story for severe weather. Day 3, Friday, could either be one of the most prolific tornado events that we've had here in Virginia, North Carolina, and South Carolina in recent couple years, or it could be one of the messiest and most linear big messes that we've seen so far this year in North Carolina and Virginia for our risk of severe weather. So we'll see which way it trends. At the moment, things are uptrending. It's looking more and more likely that we will have the opportunity for a tornado outbreak stretching from Virginia all the way down into central Georgia. Depending on which way our trends go at 00Z, we may or may not actually end up seeing an enhanced risk for wind and possibly even a 10 significant tornado risk introduced in Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia. Exactly where that enhanced risk will be issued is definitely iffy, but most likely going to be in Virginia, North Carolina, and South Carolina, where we end up with at least a day 1 enhanced risk. But it depends on which way things trend. Some models like the HRRR show a very broad and very weak warm sector, so very just really a really large warm sector, but weak, not a lot of instability. Other models like the NAM3K, the NAM, and the RAP model all show a much larger, and especially the NAM3K, more potent open warm sector. The NAM3K shows potentially one of the craziest events we've had probably since I would say August of 2023. It wasn't really a big tornado maker in Virginia, North Carolina. It was mainly a wind bag for Charlotte, as well as the DC area up in Northern Virginia, southern South Carolina, like this area here. Back in August, this area and this area got the worst of that event. So we didn't really have much in like Virginia, didn't see much in Central Virginia, all the way down to Central NC. We really missed out on that event. This looks like a quite prolific one. At the moment, we'll see which way it trends. I'm not sold on it. Streamlabs just did its little glitchy thing. See if I can fix it. Give me a moment. Go to here. Should be able to switch it just like that. Boom. Man, I just know how to fix glitches on this computer. I'm already used to it. So let me show you the two different scenarios for whatchamacallit. Friday's risk. So this is scenario 1. Scenario 1 is what the NAM portrays here, the NAM 12K. It shows multiple semi-discrete supercells firing along the cold front and on a 500 millibar shortwave trough across Virginia, North Carolina. If this were to occur, these storms here would be capable of producing strong to potentially even an isolated, intense tornado threat through portions of northern North Carolina and a good chunk of Virginia. We would also have the opportunity for a couple of strong tornadoes along that cold front directly over the Appalachians. If we progress further, it turns a little bit messy, definitely a bit messy as we go into the late evening hours. Things kind of get a little bit more congealed up into a line, but still, all the way back down into southeastern Alabama, you'd have a chance for a few tornadoes, a strong tornado or two. Quite widespread damaging winds of 70 miles per hour would most likely occur. And then 2-inch hail would still be possible. And you could see you still have those prefrontal storms in Virginia and North Carolina. Looking at the environment, a very, very potent environment. Probably one of the most volatile environments with a good positively tilted trough I've seen in Virginia, North Carolina, Georgia, South Carolina in 5+ years. I haven't seen something modeled this well in well over probably 5+ years in terms of that environment. Like I said, August in 2023, that was a big wind bag. Not really wasn't expected to be much of a tornado maker. It was a 5%, 2% tornado risk. Far West Virginia was under a 10%, didn't verify. But I mean, that is just speechless for what this model run portrays for Virginia, North Carolina. I do not think this is going to happen, but if it does, we will see a upgrade to a 10 sig Tor and a 30%, maybe even a 30 sig wind risk. And it's not the only model run. You know, a lot of the times in AM3K, it's quite bullish, right? We always kind of brush off its crazier runs. But the 18Z showed a very similar outcome. And the normal NAM model run also shows a similar outcome. A little less volatile, quite a bit less volatile in Virginia, but still a pretty volatile environment in Northern Virginia, much of Southern North Carolina into South Carolina and Georgia. And then, of course, the RAP model as well shows quite a interesting environment. So a lot of different scenarios, but all of them result in the risk for severe weather. Every last one of them, every single one of them results in the risk for severe weather. The NAM3K is the only one that really shows a widespread, significant tornado event. Like the NAM3K, that has significant tornadoes being possible all the way from, maybe even into Ohio? Northern West Virginia, all the way from northern West Virginia all the way back down into central southeastern Alabama. That large of a significant tornado threat. So I don't think that's going to happen, but I do believe something in between the NAM 3K and the RAP model should be the ultimate outcome, where we see a decent environment, not the best, but a decent environment along the cold front in North Carolina, South Carolina, that sweeps through in the afternoon into the evening hours. And most likely we'll have the risk for a few tornadoes, 60, 70 mile an hour winds, 2-inch hail, and of course still the chance for a spin up strong tornado. But we'll see. Personal opinion, I do believe it's going to be a 10 sig worthy event, as long as things keep trending the way they are trending right now, which I think at this point is likely. I think we will continue to see this trend for the worst across North Carolina and Virginia. But we'll pay very close attention to it. It definitely looks like a pretty good event. If we zoom out more towards a whole U.S. view here, this is going to be the driving factor but behind our event here in the Carolinas. And this is really good. This is not something we see very, very often. Especially the timing of the timing on the NAM is of utmost very impressive timing. You have a 50 to 60 knot mid-level jet stream positively tilted across the southern Appalachians, and that allows for a large area of ascent, but quite weak ascent in front of the cold front across Virginia and North Carolina, into South Carolina, and even into eastern Georgia as well. So that allows for what we looked at before with that large area in front of the cold front. That's your shortwave trough, a negatively tilted shortwave trough located right in here is a negatively tilted shortwave trough with that larger positively tilted trough. So 2 rounds, one semi-discrete to clustered supercells, the other a big-time wind bag. That looks to be the outcome here for Friday. We'll see which way things trend, but it's definitely the best event that we've seen so far in the Mid-Atlantic, at least over the last 2 years, or maybe even more than that. The only one I can kind of think of is, oh man, I forgot it. It was either I think it was sometime in 2022, we had a pretty good risk for severe weather out here. But we'll see. It also depends a lot on the timing of that trough. The RAP model, the RAP model is really good too. The RAP, the NAM, whoa. I'm even more impressed with the, wow. Remember, the GFS struggles with things like instability. So the fact it has that good of a warm sector is really surprising. What about lower level jet? And we never get much of a lower level jet out here in Virginia, North Carolina anyways, but still 30 to 45 knots is pretty good. But definitely trending a lot more towards a tornado event. If I go to one of the older model runs, like maybe, I mean, even the GFS from yesterday looked pretty good, but it's looking better and better with each run. You can see that very, very obvious shortwave trough right across this area. So that would initiate storms probably in Virginia, North Carolina, give or take 1, 2 p.m. Eastern time, peak daytime heating there. So that the number one thing I'm going to watch over these coming days is definitely which way we trend for the trough. Does the trough speed up, slow down, exactly where is its placement? The second thing is going to be the warm sector, the instability. How much certainty do we have on it? GFS shows a very muted warm sector, but it's the GFS. I can't tell you the last time it nailed a North Carolina, Virginia threat. I don't think it ever has. The NAM model, it actually does very well. The NAM model does very well here in North Carolina and Virginia with predicting thermodynamics of 84 hours out. It's done very well. I've actually used it more than the HRRR, believe it or not, for forecasting these localized events here. RAP model, I haven't used it that much, but obviously use it for mesoanalysis. And then the HRRR just seems to always underdo CAPE. So We'll see. But I do think we could see a day 2 enhanced risk for maybe at least wind. I think that tornado 10 sig thing that I was talking about, a 10 sig tornado risk, they'll probably wait till day 1 on that once we have a bit more certainty. But very large slight risk for severe weather, all the way from central Virginia down through western panhandle of Florida, southeastern Alabama for Friday's risk. I will be chasing. There is a very slim chance I do not chase this risk. Lucky will be chasing alongside me. We'll probably be out and about central North Carolina at 1 p.m. I know he's going to be chasing at 1, but I might end up starting a little bit sooner, right on the Appalachians, if we do see more of a primary prefrontal round. So we'll see, but definitely going to be chasing out there, at least somewhere. I'll be somewhere between if I could clear this off. Otherwise, having a glitch over here. Come on, otherwise I'm gonna have to refresh it. It's not getting rid of the pin. I'll be somewhere between this area and this area. That's where I'll be. I don't like to go south of Charlotte because that's where there's a lot of traffic around this area. And I absolutely despise going north of like this area. I despise going north of that region. Rarely do I go west of Henry County and anywhere close to Rocky Mount. I despise this region. Anything north of that white line. I've chased out here before. It's actually pretty good. If you stay along 58, it's pretty good. But I don't know if I will ever be chasing up towards central or northern Virginia. I think that is just a death wish. Not only do you have a radar hole, but your terrain is just absolutely horrid. It is a horrible terrain. And then, of course, you do have your radar hole here in West NC. That's been a big issue. All the way from Greensboro back towards, like, Asheville. It's a radar hole there. Everything's sub-severe out here in Kansas. Look at that. Not a single severe in the state of Kansas right now. In an Omega block? Nah. We're not in an Omega block. We ain't even near an Omega block. We were an Omega block? Nah. We have not been in one this year at all. There has not been a good Omega block. We might have had one for like a day or two. There might have been a moment where we had a cutoff low across the Rockies, and then probably an occluding cutoff low or a dying out trough across the eastern U.S. But we never got into a solid Omega block. Omega block, in my opinion, is one thing, you know, it's going to be inactive for like a week. Colorado cell turned a lot, TRG. Oh, this one? Yeah, it's moving. Was it moving dead south before? I think it was actually, Caden. I believe I said it was moving east, but I don't think it ever was. Nope. It's always been moving south-southeast. That might have a chance for a spin-up tornado in the future. But I don't see much of a big event today or anything like that. I'm most interested in Friday, of course. I have a really good feeling that Friday is just going to trend towards a linear blob. It always does. Like, literally, it always does. I can't remember the last time a good setup actually stayed. Let me go to this real quick. So we did just get a new mesoscale discussion. So that goes into Woodward, Oklahoma. Scattered discrete cells, mainly across southwest Kansas, have continued to intensify and produce significant severe hail. Greater tornado potential is apparent ahead of the ongoing dominant storms across the Kansas-Oklahoma border. Lower level jet will continue to increase over the next few hours. Large hail will likely remain the overall primary hazard Tornado potential may be rather confined specifically. Downstream watch issuance is being considered. Are you considering issuing a new tornado watch for something that doesn't even have severes? We do have one severe on it, but that's the only one. That's producing significant hail, so we'll see if they issue a new tornado watch. I don't feel like they would do a tornado watch personally. Caleb, they are already working on that. They first wanted to get out the tropical update, which they released today. They released the tropical warnings and stuff like that. But they're starting to work on that. I imagine they'll have that out before tornado season next year. I don't know if they'll have it out like, sometime this year or whatnot, but I imagine it will be out at least before tornado season next year. We do indeed have a 100% chance of tropical development out here in the Eastern Pacific. You can see that highlighted there in the red, and the National Hurricane Center has begun issuing advisories on what is now Tropical Depression 1E out in the Eastern Pacific. It is currently expected to become a near hurricane, a very high-end, likely a high-end tropical storm, is what we should see out of this. And there's definitely the chance it could become a very brief hurricane sometime midday Friday. I think would be its best opportunity to become a low-end Cat 1. Let's see, what was the wind speeds they had there? Yeah, see, so they have this getting up to 60 mile an hour sustained winds, so that's actually 63 there. Right around between 60 to 65 sustained mile an hour winds, so that's still like 10 miles per hour shy of a Category 1. They're not forecasting a Category 1 right now. But I do think it will have the chance to, and if it does, it will likely be somewhere around this region here. It will remain offshore of Mexico if it does turn into a Category 1 hurricane. I don't see a way how it doesn't weaken. There's a lot of strong upper level wind shear across the southeast side of Baja California and into the Gulf of California. There's a lot of upper level strong wind shear there, so it's just going to get torn apart. There's a slim chance that it could be a very low wind tropical storm by the time it gets here. But that would be like a worst case scenarios. It's a low wind tropical storm by the time it gets towards Baja California. I want to take a bit of a closer look at it. We haven't done any deep dive on any tropical storms or anything like that because we haven't had any tropical activity this year. So let's go ahead and go over here. So this is your current satellite imagery. And we're going to wait here and see if we can figure out where the low is. So you want to look for exactly where the centralized area of spin is. And I can tell you with that recent area of towering convection, your low is for sure somewhere around here. You can see towering convection right in this area. Hot towers, I believe is what you call them. I got to remember hurricane terminology. So you've got hot towers here that are moving this way and hot towers that are moving this way. So I know for a fact that your low is somewhere near that black line. And if we just replay that, might be on the eastern quadrant of that black line, maybe right in here. That looks to be where your low is, right in this area. You can see very, very large movement here with this tropical system. A really large area of circulation around that low. That's something that's always been absurd to me, is how large these systems can get. Tropical storms, hurricanes, I mean, they can get really, really, really large. Like, I think last year we had tropical storm force wind speeds over like a 250 mile west to east line. Actually, it might have been 500. It's either 250 or 500. I know it's a big difference, but I think it was actually 500. So they can get huge. This is just something like I'm a big satellite nerd. Everything satellite. I love satellite. So that's my best friend. Even when storm chasing, I'm always satellite, satellite, satellite. So I could literally sit here and watch this for 5 hours. That's the only reason why I'm able to do long live streams during hurricane season, is because I'm a big satellite nerd. Oh yeah, Ben, we've covered him before. Last year it had some crazy storms in the Western Pacific last year. We got a new PDS severe. Let's go ahead and move to that. I believe that's somewhere in, yep, north of Austin, Texas. Big time hail core right there. You see that white DBZ. That's indicating, I believe on this color table, that should be like 72 DBZ, right? Wow. 72 DBZ. Man, that's how you know you track weather too much, when you know your color table. 72 DBZ on the money. That's insane. So that's a destructive severe for 2.75-inch hail there. That's going to head into Liberty Hill and just northwest of Austin, Texas. So if you are in that PDS severe, make sure you are in your safe spot. Preferably in your safe spot. And it's not like a tornado warning. A tornado warning, you have to be in your safe spot. That's required. You have to be in your tornado or safe spot during a tornado warning. For a PDS severe, it's what we consider a destructive severe. You can see it right there. Destructive damage threat. So you don't want to be outside. You do not want to be near doors or windows. So, you know, why not just get to your safe spot, right? Just get to the most interior room of your home or even to your tornado shelter, because the hail is going to be huge. Also, if you have helmets, definitely want to grab helmets for sure. Because just think about how destructive that could be. For instance, 60 mile an hour winds. Think about baseballs being thrown at you at 60 miles per hour. That is going to be very painful, if not potentially even fatal, if you get hit by a baseball going at 60 miles per hour. So that's why, you know, you kind of want to treat it like a tornado warning, because they can be deadly. Sometimes they could be deadly, especially, for instance, in just 2 days ago, we had 6-inch hail with a destructive severe. So 6-inch hail flying at 70 miles per hour. Yeah, that's why I recommend you get to your safe spot when you're under these destructive severes. This one in particular is for 2.75-inch hail, so still very large hail, considered destructive. Let's see. Also, another observed hail threat here, 2-inch hail. Even for 2-inch hail, it's not a bad idea to get to your safe spot for 2-inch hail either. If you're in Liberal, I believe is how you say that, Liberal, 2-inch hail in southwest Kansas. You don't have to be in your safe spot, but it's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea to get to your safe spot at all. Personally, if I'm ever in like a destructive severe or anything, I'm going to go to my safe spot, or at least stay away from doors and windows. That's the minimum thing you should do. At least stay away from doors and windows. At least stay away from doors and windows. Like I said, wouldn't be a bad idea to go to your safe spot just in case. I've seen I don't think it was baseball sized hail. At the time I thought it was baseball sized hail, but it was probably closer to 2-inch hail in my area. Oh my goodness. I am so glad I was parked under a little, it was like a little overhang or something. Something like that. I was parked under it, and it just started hailing, huge hail, 2-inch hail. I mean, it would have destroyed my car. So 2-inch hail, that is not something to mess around with. I couldn't imagine like 6-inch hail like what Texas saw like 2 days ago. I believe yesterday and 2 days ago they got 6-inch hail 2 days in a row. So that's not fun. Not fun. I do want to mention as well with tropics here. We go back here. So that's your tropical depression that's forming. It is a tropical depression 1E in the Eastern Pacific. Yeah, it is tropical depression E, right? Tropical depression 1E. Okay, just wanted to double check on that. But I want to also show you, if we go here, 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 here. Yep. Gotta get used to this. Gotta get used to this. We go all the way out to June 7th, June 8th. That's a signal. That is a signal for a tropical system. I think we are going to have a real shot at seeing a tropical depression in the central or western Caribbean in the maybe the close to the middle half of June, around June 8th, June 9th. I think we'll have a chance for a tropical depression. I don't know if it will be like a tropical storm or anything like that, but the signal is there between both our Euro and our GFS ensembles. Now, GFS ensembles are very aggressive. Once you get 240 hours out, ensembles become very, very aggressive on the GFS for tropical activity. But still, there is a signal. So whenever you see these orange colors, I don't really pay much attention to like these light greens over here or even the yellows. I don't pay attention. It's when I start to see these oranges, and especially a large orange area like that going into tropical season, that it kind of piques my interest. I'm like, wait a second, what's that doing there? So it looks like towards June, between June 8th and June 10th, we should have the chance for tropical development out in the Gulf and the Western Caribbean. Now, it's not just me saying this. I'm not trying to, like, what's the word? Fearmonger, I guess is the word. Not trying to do that. Actually, the CPC, the official Climate Prediction Center, has highlighted an area of interest from June 11th through June 17th in the Western Caribbean into the Southwestern Gulf. So they've already highlighted a small area of about or a little less than a 20% chance of tropical cyclone formation. And that would be about a 20% chance of a tropical depression or greater. So not like just, a chance for a low pressure. That's about 20% chance for a tropical depression to form or even greater than that. So definitely going to be something to keep an eye on for sure. It shouldn't be anything crazy. I'm not thinking it's going to be anything crazy. Worst case scenario is probably a tropical depression. I'd be pretty surprised if we end up actually getting a tropical storm out of it. That would shock me quite a bit. But it's definitely a signal for some tropical activity. Definitely a signal. See, the new GFS doesn't really have much here. A good way to look at this is with vorticity. So if we go to the vorticity at, it has been a long time, 700 millibars. Yeah, you can see that blob of red there in the Central Caribbean. That's your wave. It actually takes that right up into the Bahamas for some reason. So shows you that there's not a lot of consistency between our models at all. Not a lot of consistency at all, but it's there. I mean, you can see the vorticity blob has been there for the last few runs, so I do expect we'll see at least something to keep an eye on, but anything more than a tropical depression is too difficult to predict. So tomorrow, I will not be live. Tomorrow will be our hurricane season forecast. tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. It is currently set up as a premiere. Once I end this live stream, whenever I do, you guys will be automatically sent over to that premiere where you can wait for it. You just hit the notification bell. That way it lets you know when that premieres. If you haven't been to a premiere before, basically what it does is it plays the video and you can react to the video with a live chat. It's not actually a live stream. It's like a video with a live chat. So that way you're able to interact with our community still. So that will be out at 4 p.m. 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Central Time tomorrow. It will be our hurricane season forecast. So make sure you are subscribed to the channel, hit that notification bell, set to all, so you know when that comes out. Like I said, tomorrow, 4 p.m. Hopefully YouTube will remind you, and yeah, we'll see if I'm dead wrong. We'll see if I was dead wrong. I didn't do horrible for 2024, but we did not get nearly enough name storms. I think it was a lot of shear. I believe it was a lot of shear. We had an unfavorable pattern, I believe, in September, and that allowed for our overall total to go down substantially. I think we ended up with 18 named storms last year, which our forecast, I think, was like 24 or so. So we were very well short on that. But I know some people predicted like 32 tropical storms last year. It was crazy. Some of the forecasts were insane. This year, actually, I don't want to say anything about this year because I don't want to spoil my video. So you're gonna have to wait. Let's see here. Arklatex tonight. Probably not much. I'll check though. See if Arklatex has any surprises. Nope. Light rain. Worst case scenario, you get a drizzle. I believe you're in the risk for severe weather, but yeah, you're in a general thunderstorm risk, so you have the risk for some lightning and a drizzle of rain. But really not going to see much. Tomorrow, there will likely be a bit of heavier rain. Tomorrow's tornado threat. That's interesting. Was that there on the 12C? It was. What does NATO cast have for tomorrow? Okay, interesting. Not what I thought it was. Best chance for a tornado tomorrow will probably end up being... I don't really see a good area. There's going to be like 3 different spots to watch for tomorrow. There's going to be up here in the northeast corner of New Mexico, western panhandle of Oklahoma, northwest Texas. The second corridor will be on the northern edge of our slight risk and marginal risk out here in Abilene and Lubbock, Texas. And the third corridor will be back out here, actually in Oklahoma, not even under a general thunderstorm risk. But those are going to be the 3 areas I watch for tomorrow to see if there's any tornadic activity. There's also the chance for a spin-up tornado back out here in this region as well. So 4 different areas where I think there's at least a small chance for a tornado, but I don't think there's any heightened tornado risk. I think everything will stay around 2%. I don't think there's any very heightened risk for tornadoes tomorrow. Dang it, I think I missed it. Pretty sure I missed it. Yep. Well, I missed it, but I appreciate you guys for hitting that subscribe button. We are officially less than 300 subscribers away from 10,000 subscribers. Just 300 more to go. A little less than 300 more to go. I missed it by 4. But I appreciate everybody for hitting that subscribe button. It means a lot. We've had like 600 some people subscribe over the last 30 days, which is insane. Will we see another Beryl this year? No, because Beryl's been retired. They retired Helene, Milton, Beryl. I believe those were the 3 names retired. Not surprised that we have a Tour Possible Severe out here in Liberty Hill, Texas. Pretty good Severe. You can see outflow boundary here. You've got a very large eagle split supercell, meaning that you've got 2 different updrafts. So that's a very common sign in intense thunderstorms, likely dropping at least 2-inch hail, potentially as large as 3-inch hail in that hail core. I don't think we've gotten any reports out of that storm yet. No reports just yet, but yeah, it's got a little bit of a fake hook to it. Not a lot of really strong rotation, so I'm not concerned for a tornado to drop out of that, but just in case, if you are in this area, Liberty Hill, Jonesville, northwest of Austin, make sure you are indoors, away from doors and windows, and stay close to your safe spot, just in case we end up getting a tornado warning out here. I don't believe this is going to rotate enough to warrant a tornado warning, but you never know. It is actually destructive for 2.75-inch hail at the moment, as well as Tour Possible. I will go check the environment real quick, just to kind of see. I believe we don't have a lot of lower level wind shear. Wow. Man, do we have any? 40, 0 to 1 kilometer elasticity. That is horrid. That is horrible. Pretty good instability, about 2,500. Yeah, risk of a tornado out of this is very, very low. We did just get a tornado warning. That's going to be in the Panhandle of Oklahoma. So there's a new tornado warning just got issued just to the east of Forgan in the Panhandle of Oklahoma. So pretty good looking supercell there. Heading into a radar hole, so this is heading away from our radar site. So it's going to be difficult to say how much this is rotating, but it is rotating. You can see the green and reds in this area with that hook echo right here. So definitely an area of rotation, and that is now tornado warned for the next 37 minutes, just east of Forgan in the Panhandle of Oklahoma. They did just issue a severe thunderstorm watch. That's what I was expecting. They did not do a tornado watch, so doesn't surprise me there. A severe thunderstorm watch has just been issued all the way from, get this, way down here in Kingfisher, Oklahoma, all the way back up into north of Dodge City, Kansas. So very large, quite large severe thunderstorm watch issued in Kansas and Oklahoma. Take a look at the day 1 outlook. You can see that's on the that entirely in the slight risk for severe weather there. So pretty large severe watch there. I don't think it has much, probably doesn't have much of a tornado probability. Be interested to see if it's anything greater than a 10%. Let's see here. So we'll wait to see those watch probs. So still a Tour Possible Severe here. I doubt it's going to be strengthening much rotation-wise, but definitely is capable of producing 2.75-inch hail, 60 mile-an-hour winds. Tornado threat is quite low at the moment. It is possible, though. The lack of lower level wind shear gives me very little confidence that this will be able to do much. The only reason why it's probably rotating at least somewhat is because of that outflow boundary attached to it. It's likely giving it a little bit better of inflow. Let's see. I forgot how to find this. Okay, I got it. Man, I gotta remember all the tropical sites. I have forgotten. I've forgotten all of our tropical sites. All right, let's go back up to our tornado warning here in western Oklahoma. We're not going to be able to see from radar if a tornado is on the ground. That's going to be impossible looking this far away from our radar site into this storm. But there is definitely an area of rotation. We can at least see that there's greens going towards the Dodge City radar site and away from the Dodge City radar site. So there is at least some rotation east of Forgan in the western panhandle of Oklahoma. Don't really expect much out of all this blob. Like I said, we could see a spin-up tornado still. That's definitely possible, but I don't really see a whole lot with today. Never did, never have, never expected much more than a spin-up tornado or two today. All right, new severe. Yeah, so remember when I said as large as 3-inch hail? Yeah, they went ahead and upgraded that to 3-inch hail. Doesn't shock me one bit. So if you are in the northwest metro of Austin, Texas, Georgetown, let's see here, Rock Round, Liberty Hill, you guys are all in a PDS severe for 3-inch hail. That's a destructive severe. So at least stay away from doors and windows, but I would recommend you stay very close to your safe spot. If not, get into your safe spot. Not a bad idea to get into your safe spot if you are in this area. Oop, lag. All right, I'm going to go back over to mesoanalysis again. I want to look at the panhandle of Oklahoma. Yeah, that environment in the panhandle of Oklahoma, not very favorable temperature dew point wise. It looks like temps are about 80, dew point's about 65 or so. So, not very favorable temperature and dew point spread there, but nevertheless, it is trying to produce a tornado, so be in your safe spot if you're in that warned area. 32 more minutes remains on that. Yeah, Tropical Depression 1 definitely looks a lot more organized. It organized a lot in the last hour. Especially on that west side. Yeah, they're probably gonna upgrade that to a tropical storm at the next update. Oh, you see that? No, never mind, never mind. I don't want to get in trouble with Twitter. I was gonna call this something right here. I was gonna call this something. Uh, I won't do it. I've been seeing a lot of tweets about a certain something. But yeah, that looks really, really, really organized now. Yeah, so very well defined circulation there too. Do we have a scan? There's a I forgot what you call it. Oh boy. Gotta try to figure out where it is. Help me. I might have actually just found it that easily. Nope. Yeah. What Godzilla said that. I believe there's a scan around it, but not actually where the low is, which is weird. Go back down here to our storm, going towards Austin, Texas. We're really going to pay attention to what these DBZ values look like. If they maintain over 60, which it looks like they're right around 60 to 65, so they're not as high. They were at 72.5 about 10 minutes ago, so they've decreased about 7 dBz there, so still likely dropping near 3-inch in diameter hail south of Liberty Hill, northwest of Round Rock in central Texas. I'm always confused on which part of Texas to say. Like sometimes I think like this is part of Northeast Texas here. I'll confuse it sometimes. Texas is such a large state. I can't categorize it with direction. Still rotating there. New warning. That's an updated warning, actually. So they've maintained radar indicated. What they did was right there. Most likely what they just did was disextend that. So they likely just took off a small portion of the warning and continued it for 28 more minutes. Yep, because I got a notification over here. So 71 people in that warning. Looks like... You know what it is? They upgraded the hail threat on it. That's what they did. They actually upgraded the hail threat. So this was 1.75-inch hail. They've upgraded that to 2.5-inch hail. So they actually just upgraded the hail threat on our tornado warning. Severe warning was also upgraded to 2.5-inch hail there. How is that not severe? So is that considered a severe storm? Okay, there you go. Yeah, that sucker was unwarned, and now it just got upgraded to a 3-inch hail severe. I was very, very confused there. Did that expire? What is going on here? Weather-wise, are you glitching out on me? Hold on, we gotta refresh. Okay, somebody's in the wrong here, so you know what? We're gonna go get GR2, because GR2's on top. It rarely lies. Okay, so that's an issue on Weatherwise's behalf. So Weatherwise is actually having an issue. This is actually a destructive severe. It is not unwarned like Weatherwise has it being. So not too good there. Delayed warnings, big issue. And that ain't a delayed warning. This thing's been warned for a while. Oh my word, yeah, this thing's been warned for a long time. It has not been unwarned whatsoever. So this is this did get upgraded to 3-inch hail. For me, it just has this tiny little severe warning right there. It says destructive 3-inch hail, so there's a little corner of it. I'm going to open a new Weatherwise tab. It's there on the new Weatherwise tab. Where's my phone? See if it's on my phone too. Let's see. Yep. It's on my phone too. So that's a Weatherwise issue. It's not just on my end. So this storm here over Brooksmith, that is warned for 3-inch hail, as well as the one out here in Austin, Texas, also warned for 3-inch hail. So we got 2 PDS severes for 3-inch hail out here in Texas. What a shocker, right? Not surprised at all. It doesn't surprise me one bit. I'll try refreshing my warnings. I'll refresh my severe warning specifically. Nope, it's still bugged. See, it had it before. Look. Get rid of that. Get this on. It had it before. If we go back up to this, it was warned. So you can see it was warned right there. That's when the NWS first put a warning on it for 1.5-inch hail. Then they upgraded it to 2-inch hail. And the recent one, they just upgraded it to 3-inch hail. But it actually only put a little small warning there instead of the whole warning. And it's only on Weatherwise, so little issue on Weatherwise's behalf there. Maybe partially on the NWS too. But I mean, GR2 has the full warning and Radar Mega has the full warning. It's just Weatherwise. I wouldn't be shocked if this is actually like softball sized hail, to be honest with you. Because that is a crazy hail core. Still 1.5-inch hail for Liberal in southwestern Kansas. See if that fixed it at all. Nope. Ben, it already is apple-sized. I think. Yeah, 3-inch hail. Is that not apple-sized? Yeah. It's already warned for apple-sized hail, so that's why I said I wouldn't be shocked if it's actually closer to softball. This one out here, northwest of Austin, Texas, doesn't look as good of a hail core. Still likely producing near 3-inch hail. Just barely northwest of Austin. But this is a very large hail core there. Just going to keep checking back in on that warning. Keep seeing if it's upgraded at all. Big time hail day. 1.25, 1-inch hail, 1.5, 1.75, 2.5, 3-inch hail, 3-inch hail. A lot of hail. I have family in Round Rock, Texas. What do you think they will get, TRG? Woo, they gonna get some hail. If they can, go ahead and cover the cars up. Get cars in a garage or put a tarp over the cars or something with the cars, because yeah, it ain't gonna be fun. I would say a minimum of 1.5, 2-inch hail, but they could get unlucky and get upwards of 3-inch in diameter. That area should be should be hit by a lot of hail. Also 60-mile-an-hour winds. Tornado threat should remain low. But man, that the hail with this should be quite an issue. It depends on exactly where they live, but I mean, it's gonna go. The main hail core is going right into here. So it's going to go into like downtown and southwestern Round Rock, Texas. Still warned for 3-inch hail. So if you are in between those two white lines I just drew in Texas, that's in Round Rock, Texas. That's where we're most likely to see 3-inch hail. Your main hail core is tracking directly that way. Alright, so they just updated that severe, and that's why it just popped up on WeatherWise's end there. Shocker. They've downgraded it. 74 dBz with a massive hail spike. Huge hail spike. In a turn of events, they have actually downgraded the severe. Oops, didn't mean to pull that up. Let's go for this. And see, this says 2.5-inch hail, but at one point you could see radar was indicating 4-inch hail. So radar does think that this potentially dropped as large as 4-inch hail just moments ago. It does look like on that newest scan. Yeah, wow, it fell apart on that newest scan. It dropped from like 73, 74 dBz all the way down to like 65. So it dropped a lot on that newest scan. They are still staying with apple-sized hail, 3-inch in diameter hail here. That is a update, I believe, to our tornado warning. Sure is. Still radar indicated. I will check shortly if they changed anything with that. Still looks like the same polygon, so maybe they updated the hail threat again. Doesn't say what the hail threat's for some reason. It looks like the exact... Oh, they shrunk it just a bit. They shrunk the northern side of the polygon. So there was... the polygon went a little bit more like that. And then back down. They removed the northeast side of that polygon. So they shrunk it just a little bit. I think all the slight risks are verifying except the Southwest Texas one. This thing is done diddly squat nothing right now. It's done absolutely nothing. It fired a like 40, 50 mile an hour small storm. Why did they even go slight out here? What? Like, only one model showed initiation of severe storms in that slight risk. Why did they even go slight there? That's weird. That's weird. I think they updated that severe. I believe it's still, yeah, it is still for 3-inch in diameter hail. So they still believe near 3-inch hail is coming into Round Rock, Texas, over the next 5 minutes here. It will approach Round Rock. So still near 3-inch in diameter hail, destructive storm for Round Rock, Texas. Make sure you are at least away from doors and windows. Wouldn't be a bad idea to get to your safe spot just in case. Like I mentioned before, I mean, 3-inch hail falling at 60 plus miles per hour. If that hits you, it's not going to feel so good. I could tell you that. That's why you want to have a helmet, preferably a helmet, and preferably in your safe spot. Because when you get that large of hail, sometimes it can be fatal. I've been hit by a quarter-sized hail, 1-inch hail, and it stings like crazy. So I can't imagine 3-inch hail. Thank you for the $2 donation. Tornado threat for Oklahoma City Metro tonight. I believe you're in a 2% tornado risk. Actually, they removed portions of that 2%. I'm not too sure if it ever went into Oklahoma City. But there is a chance for a spin-up tornado in Oklahoma City. Even though you're not under that 2%, it can't be fully ruled out. The main timing for it will be likely, let's see, that is, you're looking at about 4 a.m. Central Time. Probably closer to 4 a.m. Central Time. 50 to 60 mile an hour winds will be the biggest issue. Also could get up to about half-inch hail. Wouldn't rule out a spin-up tornado. Somewhere in this area, there's going to be most likely a line that moves through, something like that. It's going to push through Oklahoma City. It should be fairly on the weaker side. Like I said, 40, 50 mile an hour winds, half-inch hail. Nothing severe. And I wouldn't rule out a isolated tornado somewhere along that line whenever it pulls through Oklahoma City late tonight. But you're not in a very high risk or anything like that. Our area where tornadoes are likely today is in this brown 5%. That's where tornadoes are the most likely. But they are possible in that brown area, the 2% that surrounds that, 2% down here in central Texas, 2% back out in this area. So it's a lot of little areas. A lot of little areas where that tornado threat is the highest. The largest area is definitely back up here in Kansas and northwest Oklahoma. Oh no, San Antonio's not in the 2%. Nope. They made sure to not include you in that. Still a huge hail spike on this storm here east of Oregon in the western panhandle of Oklahoma. Give me a moment. Okay. Done with school, Pez? Sweet. That's a normal time. Done school for today or for summer? Friday looks great. Depends on what you're referring to. If you mean like my area, I'm iffy about it. Summer, good job. You made it through another school year. I'm surprised. I mean, what? Looks like they just upped this to 3-inch hail. So they upgraded this back to 3-inch hail now in the western panhandle of Oklahoma for 11 minutes. So, yeah, I was mentioning that huge hail spike here on CC. Very large hail falling in this area. 3-inch in diameter hail falling, most likely, with this storm east of Forgan. Masters, thank you for the $20 donation. I appreciate it. Thank you. I appreciate that $20 donation. How was your school year, TRG? Oh, mine was great, man. I didn't have to touch a single piece of schoolwork. Actually, well, I did have to. Where's this? Oh my goodness, that's heavier than I remember. This bad boy right here. A big college meteorology book. I think I'm gonna probably get another one. But this thing goes very, very, very in depth. When was the last time you touched? Today. I touched 3 pencils today. I did my spring cleaning today, so I moved my 3 pencils from my dresser right here, moved them up to my dresser over there, and I moved a bunch of pens and colored pencils from back there, and I moved them to, where did I move them? I think I moved them to like a Tupperware under my bed. So I moved them to a more convenient area, and then I could just grab those. I'm probably going to draw some SPC outlooks or something. Draw some hypo outlooks, have fun. I want that. Well, it's mine, Ben. It's mine. And it's awesome. It is an awesome meteorology book. Very, very, very awesome. First time reading in year. Caden, I read almost daily, buddy. I read nearly daily. I probably read more than Caden has read in the last 20 decades. I wouldn't say I'm smart. I'm still pretty stupid. So if you didn't know, I'm homeschooled. I was homeschooled. Of course, finished high school. But I'm thinking of actually going back into homeschooling for math, just doing one subject on my spare time. I'm thinking about going back into trigonometry, and like also maybe science too, maybe chemistry, more for weather, but back into the high school year. So not going to college, just kind of going through some things because we have all the books. Obviously, my mom was my teacher, so we have first, no, not even first grade, before first grade, whatever the heck is first, K something, I don't know. Kindergarten, we'll go with that. Kindergarten all the way till 12th grade. My mom has all those books, so I literally, if I wanted to, I could restart school. I could just restart school. I could just restart school all over again. I don't want to though. But I'm just thinking about getting a little bit more into math. 4K? No, that's camera quality. That's camera quality. I don't know though. I'm seriously thinking about going to community college in Durham, where Lucky is. I'm seriously contemplating on doing a community college, getting a scholarship down there or something. Either that or like a part-time scholarship in like shoot. I have to look at it. Let's see. There's a few colleges I've looked at already. But it probably won't be for a while, to be honest with you. If I do anything in the short term, like say in the next 5 years, honestly, if I do anything in like the next 5 years or so, it would be community college. And then if I like community college, I'd go into a university. But for now, I will just stick with, for now, my 300-page meteorology book. I'll just stay with that for now. Thing's crazy, man. I love this thing. And now I just need a book that has all of the weather websites. That way I can remember what websites I use every year. Yeah, Pete, I might. I'll see what Lucky's gonna do. I think Lucky's thinking, I believe, about going in for computer science. Like he gonna fail that so fast. I have no faith in him. I try to act like I have faith in him. Computer science. That's for like geniuses. That's for like very, very smart people. You're telling me Lucky's gonna go in for computer science? I thought he was joking when he first said that. I'm like, Lucky, you have to code and learn coding. And it's like all about math and very, very, very intense as well. It's very difficult to learn. Depending on exactly what you go in for computer science. But most likely he would go in for multiple things, not just computer science. That would just be his major. Lucky. You Lucky. The guy who literally got like a 30 on his math test last year is wanting to go into computer science. You do, Ponderosa? How difficult was it? I mean, you're probably extremely smart. There's a very high chance you're extremely smart. Probably like 20 billion times more smart than Lucky. So for you, it probably... It was probably gonna... you probably didn't flunk it like Lucky would. Consider you have the degree, I imagine you didn't flunk out. I feel like Lucky probably would. It has calculus? Oh, if it has calculus, he's done. I haven't researched it much, so don't hate on me. I don't plan on going in for computer science. Calculus, you are a genius. You are a genius. Holy moly, that's crazy. I shall never, ever talk ill of Ponderosa. I never have, and I never will. Completed Calculus 3, yeah. Never in my life. Well, I don't know. That might be a required thing for meteorology. See, that's another thing. I don't know if I could do... I'm huge on math, right? Math, and I love algebra too, but calculus, that's where I start to kind of draw the line. This isn't getting fun. This isn't fun anymore. Also, geometry too. Geometry, algebra, math, I love all those. All three of those I'm a nerd on. Hence why I love meteorology. Chemistry, I loved chemistry. Science, loved that, obviously. But yeah, calculus, that's probably going to be where I draw the line. No. So still 3-inch hail falling with this active tornado warning east of Oregon in the Panhandle of Oklahoma. Also just got an extension for our severe in central Texas. Still 3-inch hail there. Wait, no, that's a new one. My bad, my bad. So actually, this is the one that was one for 2-inch hail. They upgraded that to 3-inch hail. This thing is shifted a lot. It went from 1-inch hail to 1.75 to 2-inch hail to 2.5, back down. Oh, no, then it went up to 3-inch hail. Then it went back to 2.5. Now it's back to 3-inch hail. It's been all over the place. They've literally updated this thing like 6 times. It's back up to 3-inch hail. It looks like the hail core over Round Rock, Texas really died out. I highly doubt this is dropping anything greater than 2-inch in diameter. It's still warned for 3-inch hail because that's, when they issued the warning, it was likely dropping 3-inch hail. But now it's weakening and it's likely not dropping much larger than 2-inch in diameter hail around Round Rock, Texas. Pretty sure they just expanded that severe watch right in front of us for Smithville. So Smithville, Texas, under a severe watch. Welcome, Chip. Glad to see you in here. Yep, hurricane season in the Eastern Pacific has begun. It is still 3 days away, 2-3 days away. June 1st. June 1st for the Northern Atlantic. But May 15th for the EPAC, which was like 12, 13 days ago. It might still have very weak rotation with it, but I doubt it has anything that is imminent for a tornado threat. But it might still have very weak rotation. I believe they continued that warning for 30 more minutes. They did. Let me just see what they updated with that. Yeah, so they just issued a new warning for 30 more minutes, 3-inch hail potential for a tornado out of our storm southeast now of Forgan in the western panhandle of Oklahoma. New HRRR came in. See if that has anything interesting. Really doesn't have too much of a tornado threat developing tonight. It still wants a tornado threat, though. Out of what storms? Where do those even come from? It thinks that there is currently a big supercell right here and right here. This one could be a pretty long-tracked tornado threat. So that might try to drop a tornado for about the next hour or so here in the western panhandle of Oklahoma. Also got a new mesoanalysis, see if that shows anything. Wow, your environment got a lot less favorable. Jeez. A lot less favorable. Let's go back down here to Round Rock. Still warned for 3-inch hail. Is that a new scan? It looks like that hail core came back. Yep, in one scan, that hail core came right back. Really intensified on that newest scan. It went from, let's see if we can find the max DBZ, 59? 59 to 73.5. That is right over the northern side of Austin, Texas. So I imagine they're going to extend this severe probably for near destructive hail, probably into Austin. Why in the world do you guys have crowns? What? YouTube just gave 2 crowns. One to Pez and second to Ben. I don't know what that's for, but I didn't do it. Yeah, Ben, you got a crown next to your name, and Pez has a #1 crown next to his name. It's gone. I'm gonna screenshot that because, like, what? Now it's completely gone. Here, Pez, I'm gonna send that to you. What was that about? Well, it's gone now. Yeah, it's about to head into northern Austin. It's heading into northern Austin right now. Right where Highway 183 intersects with Interstate 35. It's still warned for 3-inch hail. The largest hail is likely going to head right into Austin. It's moving just like this, so it's in Austin right now. The largest hail may avoid extreme downtown, like where the name Austin is on this map, but it's still going to hit the northern side, so still around 1 million people are going to be hit by this hailstorm. Tornado warning still in place in the western panhandle of Oklahoma for 24 more minutes there. Topeka, Kansas. You are very far northeast, so you're in the risk for some rain, I believe. You should be outside the primary threat today. Just some rain and some isolated thunder. Likely won't see anything severe. All of our severe storms, they're in multiple different places, so this is our whole risk today. Our entire risk is very large. It stretches all the way from Colorado, Nebraska, all the way down to the North Carolina, South Carolina, even down to Florida coastline. The main area is definitely right in here. Western Kansas, eastern Colorado, western Oklahoma, northern Texas. But there's another main area back out here. And then, of course, we had all of our severe weather, southern Mississippi, northern Louisiana earlier. So there's a lot of regions to watch. But Topeka, not in much of a risk. I'll show you. There's Topeka. You're in a general thunderstorm risk, which means basically a chance for rain and isolated thunder. Not much more than that. Well, don't worry, Pez. You have already been dethroned because now you don't even have a number next to you. So don't worry. You're not #1 anymore. We just got a water spout from earlier. Fort Morgan? So that's from down here. That's from our previous severe weather earlier. Somewhere in this area. Southwestern Alabama. It didn't do any damage. It looks like it was just out over water. Doesn't look like it did any damage. Waiting to see if we get any extension to our severe into the other half of Austin, Texas. Yeah, there was a cold funnel, landspout funnel in Iowa earlier. I believe it actually touched down. I'm pretty sure it was a landspout tornado. And then we had that weird tornado in southwest Kansas. I have no idea what that was. It was weird. It's like a half consolidated tornado that was on the bottom half and didn't have much circulation above the ground circulation. Also had a report of a funnel cloud nearly on the ground. Southeast of Forgan in the western panhandle of Oklahoma. That was reported. Man, I'm late to that. That was reported like 20 minutes ago. Late to that one. You see Ben's crown? I can't. Oh, wait, now I can see it on Streamlabs, but not on YouTube Studio. Wow. What is happening? Crazy how Pez is first in here. Isn't that wild? I could see Ben being second, but I'm surprised Pez is first. We all know Lucky wouldn't be first, that's for sure. That dude's probably bottom of the leaderboard. Does TRG have an item shop I can use my XP on? Oh, man. Nope. Alright, they downgraded that tornado warning to 2-inch hail. Still warned for the possibility of a tornado, though. East of Forgan in the panhandle of Oklahoma. Very broad rotation, so we just have a large area of green and a small area of red. Green going towards our radar, red going away. So it doesn't look very tight. You can see your hook echo is right in there, so it's definitely rotating, but it's hard to say by how much and how intensely it may be rotating. Man, we need radars all over the place. We need one like right in here. We need one really bad. We need another one back down here. We need another radar site over here. We need another radar site like right in here. Another radar site up in here. Another radar in here. Let's see if I can find another one. Probably one in here too. Desperately one up here. Pretty sure there's one in, yep, like the border of Iowa, Minnesota. Need another one there. Ooh, north central Wisconsin, right in here. Need one there. I need another one up here. Another one there. We frequently get severe weather in this area and don't have a radar site. So those are like the main ones that I've noticed. Probably one down in this region too. Oh, yep, here too. Southwest Florida. Yeah. So, I mean, there's probably like 10 areas where we need extra radar sites. The ones where we need them very desperately is definitely southeastern Oklahoma, northern Arkansas, southern Missouri, western Mississippi. Those are like the three very main ones. Those areas I always end up tracking severe weather, and there's no radar sites there. Those are like the three all tied for number one. Then obviously, like I said, out here in Nebraska, Colorado border too. We could use a lot more, but hey, at least we have a lot of radars, right? I mean, look at all these radars we do have, so that's a plus. Look at all of them. We have plenty of radar sites. But we could still use more. But that's a lot of radar sites. I mean, Indiana has 3 really good radar sites. Maybe like southeast Indiana. I mean, Indiana's not a horrible radar hole, but each state could always use an extra radar. It doesn't hurt to have an extra radar. Yikes. That is a crazy hail core right over Austin, Texas. They did downgrade the severe to 2.75-inch hail, so it's no longer 3-inch hail, but still. What is that, DBZ? 79 DBZ. Gracious day, that is almost white on this. 82 DBZ. That is white on this color table. So this is, apparently it was 82 DBZ right there, but it doesn't show up on this one. Will it show up on this one? I can promise you it is 82. Let me shrink this to show you. You see the DBZ number at the bottom right. If you can't see it, I'll point it out. So it's right here. Watch that number right there. Just circled it. Right there. 82 DBZ. What is going on with satellite? Come off my face cam. What's happening up there? College 2 page having a little glitch. Jeez. Look at that hail spike. That is insane. That is a huge radar spike. Huge hail spike there. So definitely extremely large hail falling in this area. What is radar estimate for that? I don't know if it's going to have it. 4-inch hail, shocker. Yeah, I would not be shocked if that is producing 4-inch hail. And this is the actual CC too, so that dark blue CC, that's probably hail. Some of that dark blue CC is probably hail. This is Texas trying to drop a 6-inch hailstone for the 3rd day in a row. Just got a report of a wall cloud. Okay, that's on this cell here. So report of a wall cloud on our storm in Richland Springs, Texas. So that's trying to rotate and attempting to produce a tornado. Likely will not succeed at producing a tornado, but we did have a report of a wall cloud, which is rotating there. That is just an insane hail spike, dude. Hold on. You know what I want to do? I got to take a screenshot of that. Let me clear this up, get a screenshot of it. Right near, almost over Austin, Texas, too. Over the northern side. That is a wild hail spike. Man. All right, newest scan. See what that brings it to. Still 79 dBz. Yep, still 79 dBz. Wow. What are the echo tops on this? Honestly, not as tall as I was thinking. Nearly 50,000 feet. Nearly 50,000 feet. I want to move the satellite over there real quick. Caleb, were you actually gone for a month in our chat or no? Still, yeah, that actually went up 81 dBz now on that newest scan. Caleb, actually, the reason why I say that is because I didn't even notice. You were actually gone for a whole month. I didn't even realize. That's horrible. I didn't even notice. I didn't even know. I didn't even know he was gone. That's horrible. Let's go back up to Oklahoma again. There's a very high chance that's just complete corruption. Caden likely is. Yeah, that hail is wild though. Still at 2.75-inch hail for the severe warning. If you guys haven't already, make sure you hit that like button. We're 5 likes away from 100 likes on this live stream. Also, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can be subscribed before we hit 10,000 subscribers. We're going to try to hit 10K probably at the end of June, is what I'm looking at, hopefully around the end of June. And for that, we will be doing probably a gaming stream on here, on this channel, as opposed to our gaming channel. It will definitely be something weather related for a gaming stream, though. And it will likely be a pretty long live stream. But we're going to have to decide when that will be. I'm not too sure if it could be the day we hit 10K because I may be chasing. I don't know how much severe weather we're going to see in June, but June, July, that's typically chase season here in North Carolina and Virginia. So these storms are going to keep dropping very large hail, likely near 3-inch in diameter. The one in the western panhandle of Oklahoma is likely still going to try to drop a tornado for the next 30 minutes or so. But I'm going to head off here probably pretty soon. I have some stuff that I planned for 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock was really the latest I could stream. So I'm going to send you guys over to, once, we have our outro music and everything. And once all that's over, you guys will be automatically redirected to the hurricane season forecast premiere tomorrow. So you'll be redirected to that. And that will be out at 4 p.m. tomorrow Eastern. So 4 p.m. tomorrow Eastern, we will get that premiere up and going. Sorry, was that now? Report of a tornado in Germany from 7 hours ago. I just saw that on my feed. Thought it was from now, but it was from a while ago. Man, them crowns are going to get annoying. Can I get rid of them? They better be annoying, man. They take up like half the screen of your name there. At least on Streamlabs. Man. Where'd those things even come from? It's YouTube trying to be like Twitch. That's what it is. So I appreciate all you guys for tuning in, all the mods from Mod and Chat. Welcome back, Caleb. Didn't know you were gone, but welcome back. Glad to have you back in here, I guess. Definitely. And I appreciate, give me just a second. I appreciate the donations, $2 by V as well as $20 by Masters. Thank you guys for supporting the channel even more than you already do. Remember, just simply being here, really helps the channel. And then on top of it, hitting the like button, subscribing, sharing the channel, that all is an extra milestone to helping us reach more people with the word of severe weather and weather coverage. So I'll see you guys in the premiere tomorrow. I will be in the chat for the premiere. I ain't at no Talladega race this time, so I will be in the chat premiere tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern time. That's 3 p.m. Central time tomorrow. Again, I will redirect you guys right to that. So, if you don't want to go over there and hit the notification bell so you'll be notified, then this stream will just send you right over there. You can hit it that way instead of going to the channel, going to my videos, going to the premiere, and then, hitting the premiere button. So I'll redirect you guys over there. You guys can keep chatting too. If you guys want to keep chatting to each other, all the mods, you can keep chatting in that premiere chat. So I'll see you guys tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern time. The next live stream might be Friday morning. It might be tomorrow night or Friday morning. I will keep you updated in the community post. There may be a pre-chase live stream to where me and Lucky go over the model runs together with you guys to figure out where we're going to target for Friday, depending on what it goes for. I'd be pretty surprised if we don't get a 5% tornado risk day 2 in North Carolina, Virginia. And I also wouldn't be shocked to see them go 30% wind for Friday's risk on the day 2 outlook tomorrow. So once again, I hope you guys have a great rest of your Wednesday night. I will see you guys in the premiere tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern. Possible live stream tomorrow night or Friday morning. I'll just keep you all posted in the community post or just let you know during that premiere tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern time, 3 p.m. Central time. Again, thank you mods for Mod Chat. Thank you everybody just for being here. I appreciate it. And have a great rest of your Wednesday night. Stay safe, watch the severe weather, and I will catch you guys in the next one. I have 10 more seconds left, so I'm just going to keep rambling on until we hit 10 seconds, so that way this outro can finish. Perfect timing. So again, you'll be immediately redirected to that premiere. Starts 4 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. Thank you, mods, for Mod Chat. Have a great rest of your Wednesday night. Goodbye. Stay safe, watch the weather, and I'll see you guys in the next live stream and or in the premiere tomorrow at 4